What up? First of all, what up to everybody in these YouTube streets, baby? What's the word? To my 137 subscribers, thank y'all. To anybody who's tuning in for the first time, I would love for you to like, subscribe, comment, share, turn on your notifications, baby. It's a bell right there. Hit that bell so every time I go live, you will be able to tune in to my lives because I go live frequently on here. That's why it's called Marlon Speaks Live. So yeah, man. Just 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 wanted to come in on this Diddy verdict. Um, yeah, I'm here in Flint, Michigan, as y'all can see. That's what this Flint, the F is for Flint, and the water. That's for the water crisis that we suffered here. It's my partner, Vontae Gray's brand. Um, yeah. So just wanted to speak on this verdict and what it would mean either way. Now, as y'all seen my previous video on this, um, I don't think, Diddy is guilty necessarily of, I think he's guilty of just being a freaky dude. Now, with that being said, um, you know, the trumped up charges that they got against him with the RICO shit, you know, just doing a little research last few days, I noticed that, um, oh yeah, by the way, I'm about to go cut my grass, so that's why I got this straw hat on. I'm about to go knock down my yard, man. I ain't been able to cut my grass last week or so. It's been raining off and on, and I was working, and now I'm off work. Now I can finally get to it, but been raining off and on, and plus I gotta take care of these babies. I got grandbabies here. I got my 8-year-old daughter, so been having to cook and do all that. Even though I'm off, I gotta take care of them babies. Either way, I got a little time today, so I'm gonna get out here and cut this grass. So I ain't gonna be on here long. But I just wanted to share my opinions on what I think, um, you know, what I think either way. Like I said, I don't think Diddy's guilty of anything, right? But, just being, having this melanin man in this country, we're looked at as being guilty from the day we're born. So, yeah, like and share like, share, comment, turn on your notifications. Anybody that's in here. So yeah, we're guilty from the day we're born. With this melanin in this country. This country is the biggest exporter of racism and hate. So having this melanin makes you automatically guilty, right? But when you talk to us, then you kind of get the real, you know what I'm saying? Like, because believe it or not, within our culture, we're like more tougher on our own people than anybody else. So we're about what's going on. What's going on with you, bro? Where you from, Brash? Brash, Brashane? Where you from, man? So yeah, so like we're like actually more, tougher on our own people than the criminal justice will ever be, right? But we're just, like we have a just opinion against each other, right? So my opinion about Diddy, if he's found guilty, it would be for all the other stuff, like, because I'm in the music business, so I'm one of those. I will call myself a shepherd. I will call myself someone that really helps the artists and the creatives get money. I'm one of them people. I do stuff for free. North America, okay, dope. What part of North America? I'm from Flint, Michigan. Yeah, man. I'm one of those people that truly help the artists make money and keep money, and after they keep it, I want to help them invest. So I'm not one of those opportunists that take advantage of these creators. But from Diddy's era, that's all they did. That's all people did in the music business. He was shown that from his superior people that taught him the game. So that was the name of the game. That was just how it was. So you know, I think what he would be really guilty of is taking advantage of these creators. So I would call that karma. If you in our culture, we believe in karma. We don't necessarily believe in the law. We believe in karma. We believe in you being held accountable for things that you've done, just like wrong, like as far as you know morally. We believe in thanks gamer guy, appreciate you, man. Yeah, we believe in moral justice more so um, than criminal justice. Because, like I said, if you got this melanin in this country, we're looked at as criminals from the day we're born. So we don't believe in that. You know what I'm saying? That's all made up. You know what I'm saying? We don't believe in uh, yeah, smash up the like buttons, man. I appreciate y'all up in here. Appreciate that. Thank y'all. So yeah, just back to what I'm saying. Like we don't necessarily believe in the criminal justice system so much as we believe in the moral justice system. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere where like where you will be held accountable for things that you can't even go to jail for. You know what I'm saying? That's what we care about. We don't necessarily care about the things that you can go to jail for. Because, like I said, back to what I'm saying, now I just learned about the whole RICO, like how he could be convicted of interstate sexual, interstate trafficking or whatever, sex trafficking. Now, that's some shit. If you put anybody on a motherfucking plane, that's some shit 90% of these people that got enough money to send people money to come see them guilty of. And from my understanding, it's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? And the person that's being put on the plane usually want to be put on the plane. So it ain't like, like anyone's being victimized. So if they get Diddy on that, man, that's gonna be a travesty. That's gonna be a damn shame. But like I said, he would essentially, to me, I would look at it like, okay, you took advantage of these artists, you did a whole lot of people wrong, and I would assume that a lot of these artists and creatives, producers, and everybody that got done wrong by their publishing and all that, I would assume that that would be an opportunist time to take advantage and get their publishing, while he locked up. You know what I'm saying? So that's the silver lining in it for me, because like I said, I'm one of those type of behind the scenes management type people that not only do I not necessarily monetize from the work that I do, I make sure these artists, these creatives keep what they get and are able to sustain themselves and take care of their families. And like I tell everybody that I represent, I'm helping you, but I'm really helping your family, because that's what this shit is all about. If these creatives can do this full time and get paid from their mind, basically, intellectual property, they can get paid from that and make a living and take care of their families. That's what I'm doing this for. If they got kids, I'm helping their kids, essentially. I'm helping them, but I'm helping them through, I'm helping through them for their kids, parents that might need help, siblings, nieces, nephews. That's what I'm helping. these creators for. And from Diddy's era, the people that was behind the scenes, not only did they not give a fuck about the artists, they was saying fuck their kids too. You know what I'm saying? In a roundabout way. Fuck their mama. You know what I'm saying? Fuck their siblings. You know, that's why it'd be so good to see certain artists that navigated from that era, that navigated like Nas and Jay-Z, that navigated to the top, cream of the crop, you know what I'm saying, to the top, and not weird, you know what I'm saying, not taking advantage of their celebrity to do weird shit and live a life, live a nasty. What's good, 4K James? My little nephew right there. So good to see you, baby. So yeah, I'm just, I'm just sharing this, man. Like, the whole point is, man, like, the certain artists that navigated from that era, that's living a good, clean, wholesome life, taking care of, you know, taking care of their families, have bought their masters back, you know what I'm saying? But it's too few and far in between. Y'all, Prince, come get the food. The DoorDash here. Hold up, I think it's on the way. I don't think it's here. But they pulling up. Okay, yeah, go ahead and grab it. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, man, I'm looking at if Diddy is convicted, to me, how I would interpret that is he's being convicted of doing the artists, doing the producers, doing these creators wrong, taking advantage of them. You know, from his era, that was common practice, but that don't necessarily make it right. I don't care what nobody say. A lot of what we call gatekeepers today, it was just normal business. It was whole lot of that. It was common practice. I'm from that era. I was a creative in those days, and I never liked that practice. We seeing a lot of it in the news now with Mia X calling out Master P and stuff like that. From that era, a lot of the so-called old school CEOs, they would argue that, hey, man, that's just what they were shown, But like I said, that don't make it right. So I would say that Diddy would be being held accountable for all the morally wrong things that he did. Outside of, that foul, nasty lifestyle, with, taking advantage of your celebrity and for women, a whole lot of artists have done that, you know what I'm saying? On the flip side, a lot of women, they actually look to these celebrities and want to be taken advantage of. So I wouldn't call that a crime necessarily, so, but it's just the whole thing, like the moral thing. So it's like if you're popular, you have celebrity, you have money, a lot of us, we would want to see a lot of these male celebrities get married and start a family and not mess around, be faithful to their women. That's what we really want to see. We don't really want to see them out here womanizing. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole moral thing that break down within that too. But like I said, within our culture, we don't necessarily care about no criminal shit. We don't. We don't necessarily care about that. We care about the moral thing. You know what I'm saying? So, and that lifestyle is morally wrong too. You know what I'm saying? But it's morally wrong for both parties, for the women that was engaging in it and the man. So we don't necessarily look at like he should go to prison for that. You know what I'm saying? If anybody, both of them going to, Cassie should go to prison too, for that, But yeah, this is just my little rant, man. Just sharing a little insight and information and on what I feel this verdict, should or could look like no matter how I go, you know, either way. Yeah. But overall, I do not think that Diddy should go to prison. That's that just as far as the criminal shit that I believe they're gonna try to get him on. But like I said, if he does, I would take that as, well, you fucked over all them creatives, man. You got millions upon millions and billions of dollars, you know what I'm saying, to start probably and make most of his money from fucking over them artists. But the initial money he made was from fucking over a lot of these artists. And that helped him get the other money that he got. So I would argue and say, well, you know what, man, you know, you stepped on a lot of people's backs to get to where you at, and I would say you're being punished for that. That's how I look at it. Yeah. But yeah, man. Look, y'all like, share, subscribe. I'm out. I gotta go cut this grass. All right, one.